Steve Morgan for Fishing Monthly Magazines and ABT here at the BREAM Grand Final on the Hawkesbury River, presented by 13 Fishing, and I'm going to catch up with the winners, Kris Hickson in the boater division and Callum Dowell in the non-boaters. So, Kris Hickson, mate, this has been a long time in the making. You've finally won an ABT BREAM Grand Final. How does it feel?
It feels excellent. As you know, I've worked fairly hard over the years to get to where I am now, and for it finally to pay off, it's pretty good.
You've been a star on AFC before. You get another AFC berth out of this win. What's it going to be like to get on the road and cut it in telly again?
Awesome. I was having a look at the rankings the other day and seeing whether I was going to cut the mustard to get back in or not with getting booted out last time, but don't have to worry about it now. So no, I can't wait. It's the AFC is always fun. It's a good trip. So.
Let's talk about some of the specifics for the weekend. It was a very narrow win over Ross Cannizzaro, who of course only caught 3 fish on his first day. It just shows you the consistency is what this 3-day event's all about. How did you approach that managing of your spots for this event for 3 days?
Well, the first day I managed my spots fairly well. I thought I had a pretty good bag at say 10:30 in the morning, and I thought to myself, don't go too hard where you are. I knew there was more fish there, and then spot up looking for spots for the next day. When I came back to the weigh-in, there were some other guys with some really big bags, and I thought, oh, maybe I should have gone a bit harder, but in hindsight it worked out fairly well. The next day I got another reasonable bag out of one of the locations I fished, but today I pretty much had nothing left. I had a backup plan that didn't work at all, and then just winged it for the rest of the day.
You've been known to be a very good run and gun fisherman. You hit a lot of spots. How many spots did you hit today on the last day?
I think I'd fished 8 spots by probably 9 o'clock. I did the Pittwater Flats early for no avail, and then ran over to Brisbane Waters, and I had a handful of spots there that I knew that if I couldn't catch them there, I wasn't going to catch the quality that I needed, and it was quality that was going to win it. So I bailed out of there, spot up my way up the river, and ended up at Barrera.
Wow, and Barrera, of course, that's you fished that years ago when you were back in the old Savage, I think.
Yeah, it did. Even the old Blue Bermuda, I think I used to travel up there. It was about an hour's drive, and just fish the same old bank, just a run of pontoons and wharves, and the fish were there.
Let's talk a little bit more about your techniques that you use for this grand final. What could you say the lure is that won the grand final?
Oh, it's a hard one because we caught so many fish on so many different techniques, and
give me a list then.
I reckon most of the fish came on 2.5-inch seamans, and probably the biggest fish I got, which was a 40.5 fork, came on that, on a bloodworm 2.5-inch grub. Quite a few fish came on the OSP doolive shrimp, the little 3-inch one. Colour wasn't too important, and the last upgrades today that Callum got were on a 2-inch Berkeley powerbait crabby, not a gold crabby, a powerbait one. Not sure of the colour, but it definitely turned them on.
This grand final is a shared weight event. You obviously used the talent in your boat, Callum Dowell, to the advantage. He put a few of the fish in the live well today.
Yeah, he did. He fished really well. He struggled a bit because we were fishing some racks and some stuff that's a bit harder to fish for someone in the back of the boat or the front. The wind didn't make that easy at all. But in the end, it was, as you said, a team's event. I drove the electric because it was so windy and gave him the cast, and it paid off.
Let's run through this windy day we had today. You said your Phoenix Mercury combo stood out. Tell us about how it went in that gale force wind.
It was unreal. I looked at the forecast this morning and didn't know if Brisbane Waters was going to be open, and had planned to run straight up to Barrera. And when it was open, I thought, oh, it'll be right. I'll go over there for a bit. And it died off through the day. So the run into the Hawkesbury and up to Barrera was fine. It was beautiful. But by about 12 o'clock, that wind let rip, and I gave myself an hour to get back. Had a flat battery when I decided to take off, so that was a bit of a pain. But there was it would have been blowing 35 knots out there on a run-in tide, and the big girl just chewed through it. It's an awesome boat. We had a really rough afternoon coming into Pittwater again yesterday, and same thing. Those bigger boats, nearly 20 feet. The slower you go, the worse the ride is. You've got to get up on top and have a crack.
Mate, congratulations. You're a great champion.
Mate. Thank you.
Very popular.
Cheers, mate.
So, Callum Dowell, you picked a great year to be the first West Australian to take a BREAM Grand Final, and how are you going to fit the motor in the plane?
I haven't had any thoughts of taking it back just yet, so I don't even have a boat to put it on. So I'm really, I love the prize, but yeah, it might just stay as a voucher.
It's a 115 Mercury 4-stroke, one of the new 4-strokes. They're a great motor, but mate, you've had 3 great days of fishing on the Hawkesbury River, and you shared 2 of those 3 days with the winner, Kris Hickson. Tell us how it went down.
The day 3 with Kris definitely helped because when we fished on day 1 together, we gelled as a team, and we got out there today and, positions on the boat, knew what each other was doing. It was all to a T, and so I had a lot of luck today doing that.
What are your gun lures? Obviously, boater, non-boater. The boater's obviously hitting a lot of the prime spots first. As a non-boater, you want to contribute to the bag. What are your gun baits that you use to do this?
Well, I kind of tried a tandem approach. Say if Kris was fishing Z-Man grubs, I'd opt for a creature bait. Fished day 1 and 2s with power hogs. However, ran out. Switched to power bait crabbies, and just did better effect. In pearl watermelon was the main colour. Who was your
other boater you fished with?
It was Mark Healy.
Mark Healy. So you drew 2 of the absolute guns on the Hawkesbury to get this done. You put the big yards in, mate. You come across from WA and you support these events. I've seen you at grand final events before. What are your words to West Aussies about coming east? It's not too difficult, is it?
Not too difficult. I think a lot of the boys should pull their finger out. It's an awesome place to come, just out of your comfort zone, and that's what I like, is challenging yourself and fishing with people you've never fished with. Like today, fish with Australia's best boater, and anyone could do it.
Fantastic. Callum's going to organise how to get that motor back to WA, and we're both going to go get a razor and have a shave, because it's been a wild and windy 4 days on the Hawkesbury.